The problem is, as we set out this big goal and this big crazy destination, a lot of the times we forget that the true importance is the journey. All right, how's it going? Happy Monday morning, everybody. Wanted to give you a quick little Monday morning motivation. Today, we're going to be talking about the one, the only John Wooden, the unanimously understood greatest coach of all time, and a couple of lessons that you can learn. I've been reading John Wooden's book, Wooden on Leadership, and there's two lessons that Wooden has led his life by that I want to share with you today that, in my opinion, anybody who ever wants to be successful should understand, but especially if you want to be a leader, you need to understand this. So for those of you guys who don't know who John Wooden is, he's understood to be the best coach of all time in any sport. He coached UCLA basketball. He was a coach for about 29 years, and during that 29-year span, he had a record, an 80% win-loss record. So 80% of the time he won games. He won a world record 10 national championships with UCLA in a 12-year span. UCLA went on a record 88 straight game win streak spanning 3 different years. They were undefeated for 3 years. 88 straight wins. And also 7 straight national championships. So there's seven straight national championships and also 10 over the course of 12 years. John Wooden is commonly understood as one of the best coaches of all time, if not the best coach of all time in any sport. So a couple of lessons that I wanted to share with you that John Wooden led his life by that every coach needs to understand, every leader needs to understand, especially in the world right now of, it's the new year. Everybody's getting really psyched on big, crazy goals, hitting these crazy numbers before the end of next year. Oh, I want to be a 6-figure earner. I want to be a 7-figure earner. I want to be an 8-figure earner. All these end destinations that everybody wants to reach to. And then we've also got this world of social media, and this world of social media where everybody's comparing themselves to each other constantly. There's some timeless lessons in this book that I wanted to share with you guys today. And the first lesson that I wanted to share with you guys that John Wooden led his life by is to travel hopefully is better than to arrive. All right, so to travel hopefully is better than to arrive. And I want everybody to understand this because we set out with these big, crazy goals. We set out with this big, crazy mission and this end destination that we want to get to. And the problem is, as we set out this big goal and this big, crazy destination, a lot of the times we forget that the true importance is the journey. The piece that's the most important is the journey. It's the process. It's not about actually hitting these end goals. It's about the person you become along the way. It's about making courageous decisions along the path. It's about never giving into fear as you go for these big, crazy goals. It's about the trials, the tribulations, and the obstacles that come up for you and that you don't give into. You keep moving forward. You keep overcoming. You keep growing. You become a bigger person because of it. I want everybody to understand it's not about the end destination. It's about traveling hopefully. That really matters, because when you travel hopefully, that means every decision that you make is coming from a place of courage and a place of purpose rather than a place of fear. See, purpose isn't an end destination. Purpose and fulfillment is not an end destination. It's a decision that you make in every moment of every day. And if you're not traveling hopefully, you're not going to make that decision. If you're traveling in fear, if you're traveling in doubt, if you're traveling in lack and scarcity, you'll hold yourself back. But one of the most important things for entrepreneurs as we push forward for these big, crazy ass fucking goals is that we want to travel hopefully. That's way more important. Traveling hopefully is better than arriving. Number one, because 99% of the time, you're not at the end destination. 99% of the time, you're in the process. And if you're not enjoying the process, you got to shift that mindset. You got to shift that energy. Because yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to be a push. Yeah, it's going to be tough. But you got to smile through that stuff. You got to enjoy the growth. You got to enjoy the obstacles. Travel hopefully. All right, that's number one. And number two, I know this sounds super cliche, and I know this sounds like what you would hear from your soccer coach when you were 7 years old, right? But one of the biggest truths that John Wooden talks about as he led these crazy teams, going 88 straight games, 88 straight wins, leading people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, some of the best NBA players of all time, right? He said, I never talk about winning and I never talk about losing. It's not about winning and losing. You only need to compete against yourself every moment of every day. And it does sound like something that like a third grade soccer coach would tell you, like, just do your best, right? But if you really think about it down deep, what it really means to do your best, what it really truly deeply means to do your best, right? Now, if you have the potential to be a six-figure earner and you do your best and you make it to six figures, but you compare yourself to somebody that has the potential to be an eight-figure earner and they only make it to seven figures, you might think that you're behind. You might think that you're doing worse off. But the truth is that person who has the potential of being an eight-figure earner and they're sitting back on their laurels, they're resting, they're relaxing, they're in their comfort zone at seven figures, they're not competing against themselves. The only way that you can define success is whether or not you're giving it 100% effort every single day. One of my favorite things that I learned from Tom Bilyeu, I got to chat with Tom Bilyeu because he was in a mastermind that I was in. And when I was chatting with Tom Bilyeu, he said, look, I don't know if I'm the best in the world. I don't know if I'm the second best in the world. But the one thing that I do know is every single day when I wake up, I'm going to ask myself, did I play full out yesterday? And am I going to play full out today? Every single day, Tom Bilyeu asks himself, did I play full out? Did I really show up 110%? Because if I didn't yesterday, I better realize why. And I damn well better show up at 110% today. Because that's the only thing that you can measure success from. You can only measure success from how you show up. Are you showing up at 100% of your potential? Are you showing up at 100% of your ability to succeed? Because that's success. True success is not when we compare ourselves to the other people that are watching, when we compare ourselves to social media and this guy or this gal that just did A, B, and C, because you don't know what they had to do on the back end to get to that point. You don't know what their potential is, right? And when you're comparing yourself to them, it'll knock you down. It'll prevent yourself from really playing full out. But the truth is, if every single day you wake up and you ask yourself, did I pursue my life 100% of my potential yesterday? Did I pursue my life with 100% of my potential yesterday? And am I going to pursue my life with 100% of my potential today? And if each day you do just that, you will never live with any regrets. You will never live looking back and wondering what could have been. Because you'll know that you gave it 100%. You'll know that you didn't half-ass things in your life. You didn't half-ass your business. You didn't half-ass your impact. You didn't half-ass your relationships. You didn't half-ass your health and wellness. If you give it 100% every single day and be honest with yourself, then you'll never have any regrets. And John Wooden knew this. He knew this. And one of the things that he told his team, he said, I don't care if you win or lose. Every single day, every single practice, every single game, he told his teams, I don't care if you win or lose. You can ask the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars, you can ask the Bill Waltons of the world. He never talked about winning. But if they didn't play to 100% of their potential, he got on them. He got on their ass really hard. They could have won by 20 points. But if they didn't play to 110% of their potential, he got on them and their next practice was ruthless. If they played to 100% of their potential and they lost by 10, he was fine with that. What matters is not winning or losing. What matters is, do you have the courage? Do you have the drive, the stamina, the motivation, the determination, and the willpower to play at 100% day in and day out? That's what really matters. And that's what John Wooden knew. And because of that, he never competed against anybody else. And in, the hundreds of teams in the NCAA and the thousands of players in the NCAA, he never competed against them because his team was always competing against themselves. And when they competed against themselves, they won. When they played up to the capabilities of their teams, they won. So remember, I want you to ask yourself every single day, when you wake up in the morning and when you go to bed at night, ask yourself, did I play to 100% of my capability? Did I show up at 110%? Because if you didn't, ask yourself why. And then realize, if you do want to get to those end goals, realize you'll never get there unless you're playing to 110%. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.